I have no idea why.
My uncle messes my name up.
Oh,
like I call my uncle, he's my OG. Yeah. Call me J-Ronin with an L. Like rolling.
Yeah. Alright, so J-Ronin, introduce yourself.
Peace, how you doing, y'all? DJ J-Ronin, Flatbush, Brooklyn, repping the All Elements crew, Low Lives. I'm Tapped In, it's another brand I have. Rolling with Ronin, that's my martial arts brand. Been in the game a long time as a DJ, mixtapes, hosting and putting events together as a promoter, management, audio engineering. You know, I've had the studio open for a long time. I had Pro Tools since back in the day. So, you know, everybody comes and records with me. Well, nowadays I'm more choosy about who comes. You know, I used to record anybody, but now, you know, it's more.
And where were the studios? Like, it was in Brooklyn?
Well, originally, the first 2 years, it was in Harlem, in Spanish Harlem, and then by Brooklyn College after that.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember you used to have these mixtapes, like, with exclusive, like, every now and then.
Yeah. I was recording all that. All these people were coming to the studio. So, you know, Wu-Tang, Boot Camp, everybody from, you know, Rod Digger, Razkaz, you know, Killer Priest. Planet Asia, a lot of the battle rappers, Math Hoffa and DNA, you know, Hollow and Goods and Charlie Clips, people like that, you know, it was all coming either to the podcast, the radio show he was doing, or the studio, and we just getting stuff done. Westside Gun, Conway, you know, Rome Streets, Tragic Gaddafi, Kool Keith.
What happened to
MOP,
the verse?
everybody.
What happened to all these verses? Do you keep it, or is it?
Yeah, of course I keep it.
Okay.
Everything is saved. You know, the mixtapes, during that mixtape era, they did very well. Some of them sold 10 and 20,000 copies. You know, I before streaming, you know, there was mixtape stores everywhere, all over Brooklyn, downtown Manhattan, Canal Street, Harlem, Bronx, Queens, you know, Jamaica Ave, you know, Corona, Jackson Heights, everywhere. I had newsstands selling my mixtapes at one point, you know, so it was, and then we had stores all over California, Miami, Chicago, Detroit, you know, Atlanta. It was a great business. You know, I would ship out boxes all over the world. The post office used to hate me because I'd come in with, you know, a hand truck with stacked up boxes of 200 CDs each. Let's go in here.
You start over the CDs or cassettes or just with CDs?
Okay. I mean, I did a little bit of cassettes, but you know, it takes too long. You know, and I started going to MOS, and they, you know.
Okay, did you use Tape 8 back then for the mixtape?
No, I used MOS and also Hard Time Records.
Okay.
That's my man PR Dean. He used to also do duplications for me as well.
Yeah, because I remember when I used to get mixtape, it used to be downtown Canal Street by Amadou. Yeah, he used to sell. Yeah.
Amadou is my man, and then he moved to 14th Street and 6th Avenue.
Yeah.
And he used to cop like 500 mixtapes from me at a time, like cash up front. That was my guy.
And a lot of people don't understand that mixtapes, you'll see mixtape DJ come in like on a Monday, then by Friday they'll be sold out.
Yeah. Try the next day.
Yeah, depending on DJ, the next day.
And sometimes, if they was cool like Amadou, they call you, yo Jay, I need another box. But some of them would just bootleg your stuff and put it out. You know, so even my first CDs was getting bootleg heavy, and I remember people in Japan seeing bootlegs, and down to Atlanta, to Cali, bootlegs, you know, so. But I remember what 50 Cent said, I think it was in Feds Mag or Don Diva, one of them, where he said, don't get mad at the bootleggers. As long as your contact information is on there, they're like your street team. You don't gotta pay them, and they getting your music out there and getting your information out there. So there's plenty of people who got bootlegs in my mixtapes, so they hit me up for a DJ gig to get me to host their mixtape or their album or whatever. So as long as it brought business opportunities, I didn't really care.
Yeah. So do you miss the mixtape era?
Of course.
Yeah, what did you like about it?
It was just so much fun. It was freedom. You know, you could take an industry beat, do some freestyles, take some songs you liked at that time. You know, all the labels would you know, call me up and give me, you know, the new record, whether it was Def Jam or Atlantic or whoever, and then, you know, I had the studio, so that was the most fun for me, was having all these artists come and work together, and sometimes bring artists together that were from different, you know, worlds. Like I remember I did a posse cut called, I think it's called The Purpose. And I had Pt.1 from Wu-Tang on there. And then I had Mr. Fab from Oakland, from the Bay. People more, you know, he's bigger now, I think, on the gram. You know, because he's at every Warriors game. He got his dope era clothing line. He's doing good. So I had them two. And then I had Reef the Lost Cause from Philly, who was part of Army of Pharaohs, Jedi Mind Tricks and them. And then I had Shot Stimuli on there, who was real big in the mixtape game at that time. Who was also from Flappers, shout out to Flappers. And, you know, just bringing people together, I like that. Bringing different coasts, different regions together, different, I feel like hip hop was so divided, and it still is, all the different little parts of it. So to bring everybody together, if you're dope, if you're talented, come work together. You from this scene, you from that scene, you from this scene. Let's work together. Let's get money together. Let's share some fans. Let's you know, make things bigger. So that was fun. Just picking beats, working with dope producers. You know, I discovered a lot of producers before they blew up, and you know, I was working with them. Maybe not discovered like I'm Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
Well, fuck that dude. But you know, I would grab up producers who were dope and work with them. Like Beat Butcher, did all the stuff for Griselda and got Grammys now. And Kile and Zaire, DJ Snips from London. You know, there's different people, and you know, putting songs together. And you know, it was fun, man, working with all these artists. And you know, we still do that, but now we do compilation albums instead. The format is different.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna ask you, you think now it would be difficult for a DJ to come out with a mixtape in this era?
It's totally different, because back then I had, you know, like 100 spots in New York that would buy the CD up front. And then I had another 150, 200 spots around the country that would just buy it. So I could move 10, 20,000 to one CD wholesale in a week. And now, you know, everybody wants to stream. They want to get on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, whatever, YouTube. People don't want to spend their money. So it's a lot harder. So, you know, a lot of independent artists who were making 100, 200 grand in 2005, 2008, 2009, you know, now they're not making nearly as much. A lot of artists I know had to go get jobs. You know, they had to learn a trade and do music part-time. So, you know, it's a different era. So now for me, I put out albums independently, but I do DJ gigs. I host events, I put events together. I did my birthday bash recently. I had Cormega and Planet Asia headline. And you know, it was a great event. And you know, you rent venues where you can have your own vendors and you know, have your own bar.
Okay. How you feel about Spotify playlists? You think does that hurt the DJ or will that hurt the artist? You think it's pretty good?
I mean, it's cool for the customer. It's cool, but I mean, you know, it took a lot away from the DJs. I think I feel like DJs should have, you know, more attention on those playlists. Like I don't really go hard with the playlists, you know, but I probably should. I mean, I put playlists together for myself and I make them public, but I don't usually like share them and stress people like that. But you know, there's a lot of so-called influencers who don't go out the house, who don't know anybody, and they just work the internet all day. They got a whole bunch of followers, and they just charge people to get on their playlist. And I think that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because I have my own personal playlist. I use a regular iPod. It's my music, and that's it.
Right.
It's simple. So let me ask you a good question. So where were you when DJ Drama was got arrested like years ago for his illegal mixtapes? And what was your thoughts back then?
Well, I think it's debatable whether or not it was illegal. Because all these record labels were paying him to play their records. They were inviting him to come over. They're giving him CDs. They're giving him vinyl. You know, they're sending him MP3s. So they're doing that, but then the RIAA was then going after the same mixtape DJ. So, you know, it was a gray market, you know. Where was I at? I was making mixtapes, selling, getting money. I didn't stop going hard with the mixtapes until about 2014, 2015.
Oh, it was like towards like the end.
Yeah. Because I remember I did Freestyle Files Volume 2 in 2014. and Complex magazine featured it, and I did, I think, 13 music videos for it, and it was 50 MCs all on classic beats, doing freestyles, and if I put that out in 05, 06, 07, 08, I would have sold 50,000, 100,000, and maybe I sold a couple of thousand, but it didn't make the kind of money that I wanted it to make, and then I had all these videos done for it, and I'm like, damn, like, this is dope, like, but I felt like it was already kind of too late in that era. I probably would have been better off just making a compilation album with all those people.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, kind
of.
of.
But the tape is still classic, and shout out to Empire. It's actually up for streaming. I'm not gonna say too much, but you can stream it right now on everything. Freestyle Files 1 and 2.
Okay, let me ask you a personal question. So why made you choose Empire Distribution over United Masters and the other distribution companies like DistroKid?
Well, I use DistroKid for some things, like for new original stuff. I might put it out through DistroKid, or I might go with Fat Beats, because I have a distribution deal with them as well. For Empire, for me, they don't ask a lot of questions. I can just do one sign off and put it out.
Okay.
So it makes my life a little easier, because DistroKid and CD Baby, when the artists are bigger, they want you to get sign-offs and do all this extra work, and some of these records are 10 and 15 years old, even if I'm putting them back out digitally, and I'm not trying to track all these rappers down.
Oh, so they'll basically stop you, like, no, then you need.
Yeah, you need this artist to, I think DistroKid or one of them had, you have to, they have to go on their Twitter account and send this code DM to the Twitter for the distribution company. From their official Twitter. I'm like, come on, man, that's too much work.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. I mean, the back end should be way easier, because at the end of the day, it's like it's yours, right?
Right, and they're shouting me out on it. But I remember on the Freestyle Files intro, I had Busta Rhymes on there shouting me out and talking about me, and because of that, Empire didn't put that on the streaming, because I didn't have a sign off for Busta. But he's talking about me. Yeah. But I still couldn't put it out.
Cause I know Busta is on Busta been distributed through Empire, through his company.
Right, but this is before that.
Oh, okay. Oh wow. So, I guess distribution.
Yeah, it's headaches.
So you grew up in Best Side, Brooklyn?
No. Flatbush, Brooklyn.
Oh, Flatbush, Brooklyn. Okay. I was gonna tell you. So you tell me you knew Biggie growing up, right? Biggie and Junior Mafia. No.
I'm a little younger. You gotta remember.
For real?
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, I thought you were like around the same age.
How old do you think I was?
If I would guess, at least mid-40s.
I'm 42.
42. So that's early 40s.
So I was getting out of the house. It's like 96, 97. I was going to events and getting into stuff with a fake ID at that time. So I never got to meet Biggie. I did meet Lil' Kim. I met guys from Junior Mafia, but I wasn't close with them.
95, 96, that's a good era. That was.
Yeah, I mean, I was a fan. I was listening, but
at some point
I was going to like a lot of hip hop events. Probably 97 on. So I was around like a lot of the Raucous people, Raucous Records, and Loud Records. The Wu-Tangs, the Mobb Deeps, people like that.
I remember I went to the Ruckus building one time in my life. It was just like a back staircase. It was very grimy, graffiti on the wall. And when you go there, you see the office. I'm like, okay. That was like.
And then how was the security over there?
It wasn't. The back door was just open.
Okay.
It was like way back before they signed Mos Def or Black Star.
Okay.
That was like back then.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot how long ago it was. And you said you ended up working with a Wu-Tang Clan. You was their DJ. Was this doing 36 Chambers, or what was it doing the second album, the double album?
Oh no, this is later. Way later. I was DJing sometimes for Pt.1 and Killer Priest, like 05, 06, 07, 08. And then I only DJed for the Clan once. And that was a funny situation. It was an ODB tribute after Dirty had already passed. Rest in peace, ODB. And Mathematics, who's the normal DJ, was supposed to spin, and he had to go for some reason. And he wanted, usually I use Technique 1200s and the Serato Control vinyl, but he liked CDJs, so he had the CDJs there. He left me the Serato CDs, but he didn't leave the music. He was like, yo, Roland, you got this, right? You hold this down, right? I gotta go. I gotta film a situation. And I'm like, huh? And he just left. And we're at Roulette Theater on Atlantic Avenue. You know, they got the balcony, they got the big ballroom floor. It's packed. Everybody's like, Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. I'm like, oh shit. I gotta get this set together real quick. So I'm like, all right, so who's here? I'm like, okay, Ray Crown was there, Ghostface, Master Killer, RZA, and then Young Dirty was doing ODB's parts, and then Busta Rhymes was there. So I just had to figure out what to play real quick, and I luckily I'm a hoarder of music, so I had 36 Chambers instrumentals, I had Triumph, I had Iron Man, you know, Ghostface and Iron Man, Supreme Clientele instrumentals, Only Good for Cuban Links instrumentals, just Liquid Swords instrumentals. So I just put together a set real quick, and we rocked out.
Nice.
You know. And, you know, I know there's footage of that. I guess I have photos, but I don't have the footage.
Yeah, you got the footage?
Yeah.
That would have been nice. Do you capture all your events? Do you like?
Yeah. Normally I have a videographer. I usually use my boy Mike Borello from Electric Artistry, but he moved to Florida. So usually I got a guy who's part of my team he shoots videos, he does videography. He also raps, makes beats. R. Hendrix, who's actually also from Flatbush. Okay. So R. Hendrix, he usually films stuff for me.
Cool. All right. So it's polo all day, right?
I mean, you know, I've been, you know, a member of Low Lives for over 20 years, the crew. Pretty much. I mean, I'm pretty, you know, polo hats don't look good on me. I got a big head, a big face. I don't really wear polo hats.
You doing the bucket hats or just the regular hats?
Any hat. Oh. They all look bad on me. Like the hat you wearing right now, my head is way too big. My face, I'll look like Tweedledee. Tweedledum, like wearing a hat. I can't wear like dad hats. Like I need like the bigger. Like the snapback. Yeah, like I need like stuff like this. It just don't look good on me. And then I got wide feet, so most Ralph Lauren sneakers I can't wear. So I wear a lot of Ewings. You know, and I wear like Bo Jackson's, Nike, you know, cross trainers, Jordans. Okay. But yeah, polo all day, but I wear streetwear brands that work with me. You know, New York State of Mind, I work with them, and we did a collaboration recently. So I have all elements, music group t-shirts, hats, and hoodies, DJ J-Ronin t-shirts, hats, and hoodies, and I have Rolling with Ronin, that's my martial arts brand, t-shirts as well. So I work in New York State of Mind, Brickface Clothing, you know, a few other brands. Okay.
I remember back in the days when I was in school, it was like people used to get jumped if they would wear like that fake polo, the Polo Association Club.
Or USPA. Yeah. And Triple Fat Goose.
Yeah. I just thought about it.
Yo. Yeah. We don't mess with that.
Yeah, I know it's only
no USPA.
Oh no what?
USPA, USPA, no Clik.
Oh, okay.
It's not. You got Beverly Hills Polo Club.
I've seen that, yeah.
They trying to capitalize off Ralph Lauren's name, and they'll make stuff that looks like it. And U.S. Polo Association is a real polo, the sport association, and they made a deal with this clothing company to make clothing that looks like Ralph Lauren clothing, but it's bootleg.
Yeah, it's like the legal bootleg of Ralph Lauren.
It's legal, but it's corny. You're a sucker, you're a herb if you wear it. But a lot of times it's older people who don't know, and they'll get it for their kids or their grandkids. Or, you know, no disrespect, immigrants who don't really know about fashion. You know, like, you know, fresh off the boat, people are like, oh, I got the new polo. And you're like, nah, bro, listen, I'll take you to the outlet, bro. You need, come on. Come here, brother. We got to get you some fly shit. Like, you can spend the same amount of money and get the real stuff. Go to a sale at Macy's, go to the outlet. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, especially outlet. You can probably get it much cheaper.
Yeah,
of course. At a better price. Yeah.
So I'm not saying blow all your money on clothing. You know, man makes the clothes. Clothing don't make the man. You know, I go out in a wife beater and some basketball shorts, and I'm still me. I don't need Polo to be who I am, you know.
So what made Polo so I guess everyone loved Polo for the longest I can remember, since the late 90s or early 90s, early
80s, bro. 80s.
Like everyone seemed to love Polo.
Well, Polo,
I feel like it's not gonna go out of style anytime soon.
Polo showed a lifestyle that working class people who couldn't afford it, wanted to have that lifestyle. So that was part of it. And you know, it's very colorful, great designs. Even though the designer is from the Bronx, Ralph Lauren, he was very multicultural. He had Tyson Beckford early, like you know, he was using him, like, so he used people of color in his ads. I think that made it appealing. But then really, my team, you know, before I was around, you know, the first generation, Low Lives, they made it cool in the hood to really rock low, and that infiltrated into all facets of hip hop culture.
Yeah, it did.
You know.
I was gonna ask you Tommy or Ralph, but I remember at one point it was like Tommy or Ralph. It's like, if you're not wearing
Ralph.
Tommy, you're wearing Ralph. If you're not wearing Ralph, you're
But
wearing
I'm
Tommy.
not mad. You know, I'm a father, and my son's birthday party just passed over this weekend, and one of his cousins gave him some Tommy. I'm not mad. Some Tommy, some Nautica, cool. But you know, my son's name is Baby Freddie Low on Instagram. Low. It's low all day. He could wear some of that stuff though, other stuff, but you know.
Let's talk about Low Life real quick. So Low Life started in Brooklyn, and that's where the love of Ralphie's, right?
1988. Well, you know, it was about, back then it was about money, hoes, and clothes. Getting money, getting girls, and getting fly. And you know, a lot of them were boosters, but some of them were also like drug dealers or in other criminal aspects. I came later as a DJ, someone involved in music and culture, because it started going more music direction. You know, my big bro Thurston Howe was getting, you know, more into music. So you know, it became more of a fraternal organization about music, fashion, culture.
Okay.
And it became less about the criminality of it, but it started off on some real street shit.
Yeah.
You know, and I wasn't around for that era, you know?
Okay.
I was a little kid.
So let's talk about boot camp real quick. So I know you worked with Sean Price at some point.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Sean P.
Yeah, rest in peace. And how did you hook up with Sean?
Well, I think that was just, you know, I believe strongly in the term, your network is your net worth. So there was a time where I would go out to maybe 20 events in a week. You know, I might go out and go to 3-4 events in one night. And, you know, I would go to a lot of events. I would DJ, I would network. And, you know, I just got cool going to shows. And, you know, I was working with him, working with Rock from Helter Skelter as well, Tech and Steve from Smith & Wesson, Buckshot. And, you know, I'd get them shows, get them paid for shows, get them paid for verses, and I'd get them on my mixtapes. And, you know, we just had a good working relationship. And they supported me early on, especially General Steele. Shout out to him from Smith & Wesson. He always was very supportive of me. You know, always has been. So
Nice.
salute to him.
I always thought
You know,
Sean Price was like the
but-
nicest.
Super nice. Jokes. I remember I wore some bent up Timbs around him once, and he let me have it. And after that, he did like a footwear check on me every time he saw me, like messing with me. But you know, he was great, man. You know, we would definitely miss him. Every year we have something for his birthday, and you know, I was just with his widow, Bernadette Price. She came to the my son's birthday party along with their youngest child, Shawnee Price.
Okay.
You know, his daughter, and you know, she got so much. She's so much like him. It's crazy.
Oh, is she gonna rap too?
I mean, she has fun with it. I don't know.
I know Bernadette is rapping now.
Yeah, she's rapping. She's doing her thing. Getting paid for verses too.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, get that money. Shout out to Bernadette. I'm all for it, you know.
You also interviewed. Your first interview, what was it? West Side Gun from Griselda.
Well, no, I was one of the first people to do an in-depth interview with him.
Okay.
That was 2015, I want to say. So about 9 years ago. And I met Westside Gun and Griselda through Planet Asia because he was working with them already early on, like 2014. And they linked me up, and I met them in Atlanta. At the time, they were giving out CDs and still, getting their name out there. And we hung out in Atlanta at A3C, went to a bunch of events together. Westside Gun, Conway, the producer Derringer, the other producer Camouflage Monk. Shout out to Camouflage Monk. We got a project that's been on the shelf, in the vault for a long time. He produced with Sav Kills called Savage Monks. Sav's one of the artists that I manage, who's part of my All Elements crew. But we hung out in Atlanta, and they came to New York, and I interviewed them, and I put it out. And I got a freestyle with Westside Gun and Conway on the Incarcerated Scarface beat, Raekwon beat. And it played on the radio show, but I never put it out. Wow. So I'm slowly working on Freestyle Files Volume 3, just for fun. And I have some really dope artists on there, but that freestyle is on there with Westside Gun and Conway. And then I also got Rome Streets on there from, who signed to Griselda later on, who's from Brooklyn. Who? Rome Streets.
Oh, Rome Streets, okay.
And I got a lot of people on there. I got a posse cut with Cool Key from Ultramagnetic MCs, Sadat X from Brand Nubian, Capadonna from Wu-Tang, and Illa G on there. And then I got Rome Streets with Shabam Sadiq and Tragic Gaddafi. Swave Sarah from Harlem did a verse for it. I gotta finish it up, but it's a dope project.
So it's coming out probably next year.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've been, I have so many half-finished projects. I need to get them done.
So what do? You just mix? You just throw verses together?
I record stuff and I try to get the right stuff, and sometimes people come and they do verses for it, and it don't make the cut.
Oh, okay.
And you don't want to shit on them, but it's like. Sometimes some of these legends, they don't keep their pen game sharp, and some MCs just was never sharp. They just got buzz, and they cool with they the homie of the homie, and they come through, and you're like, this motherfucker can't rap. Fuck.
What do you do?
Why did I even record this?
What do you do in a time like that? Do you just keep it, take it out, throw it away, save it?
I might save it, but I'm not. If I don't like it, I'm not using it.
Okay.
And there's stuff that's just I'm never putting out. And there's a lot of good stuff that I didn't put out just because there's always a lot going on, and that's the worst, man. When people come through and I try to keep it real. I'm like, I try to get them to do the best they can. Like, hey, I think you're a little bit out the pocket there. Tighten the flow up, or could you.
Do they get mad?
You got too many words in some of these bars. I might try to help them, but some people are like, you don't rap. You can't tell me how to rap.
It's like an ego, so I can get in.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes.
Okay. So lately, it's like Nas is dropping, releasing an album. Ice Cube coming out with an album this week. Mary coming with an album. It's like El Cool J dropped an album. M dropped an album. And how you feel about these legendary rappers coming out with an album nowadays?
I think it's great. I like the LL Cool J album. Q-Tip produced the whole thing. It's dope. I like it. It's something different. It's not what people expected from him, but that's okay.
I like it.
And I like the Eminem project. I like other Nas projects. I saw Nas at Madison Square Garden. That was a great show. What was that, a year ago? Something like that.
Was that the Nas and Wu-Tang?
No. I went to the Nas Wu-Tang show, the one at the Barclays. But before that, I went to a Nas show at Madison Square Garden by himself.
Okay.
And he was doing all the King's Disease.
Oh, okay.
The trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know what you were talking about. It was like
and he brought out. I think he brought out Mary, and he brought out Hit Boy, and that was it. He rapped for 2 hours.
You a big Nas fan?
Yeah. Nas is one of the greatest.
Yeah, he is.
If probably the greatest solo hip hop artist of all time, in my opinion.